G'day and welcome to Rule of Reason, where we break down life's challenges, anywhere from personal development through to philosophical understanding. I'm your host, Zach Rule, and what I believe is that if we can make ourselves better, if we can have a better understanding of the world around us, then we can, in turn, make the world a better place. Now, it's key for me to point out here that I'm not approaching this as someone who knows everything. I'm not here to lecture you, but I'm more a guide as we journey together to find understanding, pursue ideas to make sense of this crazy world. If we want to be happier in our lives, if we want to have a happier society, then we need to take note of these four key areas: family, faith, friends, and work. In other words, how to earn success and how to care for others. We all need a higher vision for our lives. A vision that desires for self-sacrifice, that we're willing to do more for others than we are for ourselves in pursuit of our goal and our meaning in life. We need to move away from self-indulgent immaturity to being responsible citizens. Now, some of the key areas that we want to touch on, or that I want to touch on in this show, is first of all a group of topics to make ourselves better, the best versions of ourselves that we can, and then moving on from that, understanding the world around us, that we can do as much as we can in our world to make our world better. But we can't make the world better until we can improve ourselves. So some of the topics that we're going to start with, and you'll see over the next 8 or 9 episodes, is personal responsibility, gratitude, perspective, generosity, the value of hard work. I even want to touch on things like fitness and exercise and diet, how you can contribute to your community, and basically anything else that I can think of that I believe contributes to the bedrock or is the foundation of what makes a good quality person. Once we've done that, we've built that foundation for being good citizens, for being responsible individuals. The plan then is to expand out and inform you in plain English, in easy to understand ways, on topics that are pressing in this day and age that everyone really should be informed about. But life is busy, life is super busy, and most people, like myself, don't always have the time to read research papers or to watch the news and get informed on the issues of the day. And that's what I want to do. I want to take the time to research these topics and bring them to you in a way that's easy to understand, so that you can be informed in small bite-sized pieces, 10-minute episodes or even shorter, on certain topics and certain issues. And I'll be as unbiased as is practical for any human to be, so that you can make up your own mind and therefore make good decisions in the world. I want to touch on the fundamentals of politics so that you can vote more effectively in your area. I want to touch on contentious social and philosophical ideas. But that's all to come. We're going to start where I think is the most important, and that's on yourself. If you're not the best version of yourself, you're then not able to help other people. Now, before we move on to the content of the first episode, you're probably asking, well, why should I care? Why should I care about Rule of Reason? There's so many podcasts out there. Why? And because I believe the world is in chaos. The world is chaotic. And I want to help. I want to help people be able to navigate the world, be as informed as possible to make sense in this crazy world. And my point of difference that I truly believe is a needed point of difference from most podcasts is that there are plenty of people out there talking about different issues, but very few that put in practical steps so that it can be applied to your life, so that you can practically outwork what we've talked about. You can listen to a topic and think, oh, that sounds really great, and they tell you to go on and do it. But often it's quite hard to go, well, where do I even start? That's where I want my episodes, my podcast, to be different. Every week, I want to leave you with a practical undertaking that isn't hard, that you can apply in your own life to see real change. Because I really want to see people be the best that they can be, families be the best that they can be, so we can have community cohesion again and build better societies in this world rather than the chaos that I see at the moment. So, if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, let's start right now with the first topic that I thought would be a great place to start. Not always a fun one, but personal responsibility. What do I mean by that? Well, personal responsibility is to take responsibility for your actions, good or bad, and understand that everything that happens in your life is a consequence, again, good or bad, of decisions that you have made. Now, yes, I understand that there are always going to be times where things happen to you. But the key is to take ownership of your life and say, look, I don't like it and I can't change what's happened, but what I can do is make the best of my future. And I can choose the best path out of wherever I am. Blaming other people, playing the victim, and making excuses for where you are might feel good in the short term, but what it definitely does is keeps you stuck right where you are, and you will spiral and you won't get out of where you are. If you truly want to see your life get better, then you need to take stock, be self-aware, and go, all right, it hasn't been good till now, or maybe it has been good till now. If I want to keep it this way or I want to make it better, I need to look at all the things that are wrong and go, even if it's hard and it hurts and I don't like it, this is what I have to do to make my life better. Some practical situations that I'm sort of referring to. If you're a parent, take the time to raise your kids properly. Teach them good manners, teach them good values. With your health, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, don't make excuses. Morning. Oh, yeah. The thing with health is it's so easy to make excuses. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have money. And maybe that's true. But I also believe that if it's important to you, you'll find the time and the money. And the other thing that I'll tell you, as someone who used to be a personal trainer, is that you don't need much time or money to see yourself succeed on your health journey. And that's something that I'm going to touch on in future episodes, so that may interest you if you tune in later to see just what you can do in your own home in 10, 20 minutes. No equipment or anything. So anyway, stay tuned for that one. And relationships. Look, it's a complicated one. A lot of the time you hear people say, well, you know, I'm not really the problem. I'm doing everything that I can. They're the problem. That's why it's not working. Maybe that's true. But maybe you're only 5% of the problem. And if that's the case, sure, okay, the other person's more to blame, but you have control over that 5%. So if you make your 5% as good as possible, first of all, it's going to get slightly better. But second of all, and this is what you truly hope, is that if the other person can see that you're really trying, that it will then begin to shift their mindset so that they think, maybe I could try a little bit harder as well. Now, what some of the barriers that you might face are barriers like with me starting this podcast. Fear of failure, being scared that people will judge you. I'm more than happy to put my hand up and say that it took me a lot longer than it should have to start this because I was scared that I was going to be terrible at it. But the key is sometimes just start. And just starting, at least you've then got a point of reference to work on. There's also a temptation to blame other people, saying, oh, well, you know, it's not my fault, it's their fault. It's like, maybe even if that's true, the best thing that you can do is just take responsibility for your life and go, well, I'm going to make it better. And then the big one is playing the victim card. We just live in this society where victims get praised, which is just crazy. I don't understand it. It's like, no, the people that we should celebrate are the ones who are in a hard situation and despite that, with everything against them, succeed because they take responsibility for their life and they power out of it. And that's what I want to see for you. The hero of the story is not the person who wallows in self-pity. The hero is the one who overcomes despite all the challenges that face them. The best way to get started, start small. If you start big, there is a high chance that you will fail and then you'll give up. And that's not what we want. What we want is something that you can identify in your life and go, I can do that. And you have a high success rate. You'll see the success, you'll taste the success, and you go, okay, what else can I change? Now, at the start, I said, I want my podcast to give you a practical application to your life. And that's this point now. What's something small that everyone can do that's super easy? And I think a good place to start for everyone is to take an honest look at your life and think, am I physically healthy, the best version of myself? So what I want you to do, and it's really simple, and anyone that has a phone or a computer can do this, is go into Google and type in BMR calculator. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. It'll bring up a bunch of areas you need to fill in: height, weight, age, level of activity that you do each day. And I want you to be honest and put in all those details, and it's going to spit out a number. And that's going to be the amount of calories your body will burn to keep you alive every day. Now, why is that important? Well, if you know without exercise or anything else what your body needs, as long as you're consuming less than that, you will lose weight. Now, this is key because what most people I see do, especially those who don't have a great grounding in fitness, is they do fad diets, right? 8-week challenge, 12-week challenge, and these things are effective and they do work. You do lose a lot of weight quickly. The problem is you lose weight quickly in a way that you can't maintain in your everyday life. So you look at 8 weeks and go, yeah, I can be strict for this long. I can do it for 8 weeks. And you lose heaps of weight and you get all excited, and within 2 months the weights all come back on. Now, the solution that I'm talking about with the BMR is you take that number and you consume 100, 200, 300 calories under that, and you will lose weight, but it will be gradual. What is good about it is you should be able to structure what you eat in such a way that it's sustainable so that you just live your life like that. And so there's no need to change your diet. It just becomes your new diet. And you will find that even if you lose 50 grams a week or 100 grams a week, over the year, that's going to be 2.5 to 5 kilos. Whereas if you lose 15 kilos on an 8-week challenge, but then you put it all back on, what's the point? So try this one at home. It may require a little bit of counting your calories. The way I choose to frame it is be purposeful about what you eat. Only eat when you have to. Don't eat because you're bored. Try and avoid those little snacks because it might be 50 calories here, 100 calories there. But over the week, that's going to add up to hundreds of calories. And that in itself could be a reason why you're not losing weight. So hopefully this is helpful. I may have rambled a little bit. This is my first one. I'm still getting on top of it. But I'm really excited for what this show could be, how I'll be able to help people. So stay with me. Stay tuned in. Next week, we're going to touch on gratitude, which I think is super important in this consumerism world. I don't like using those big ism words, but in a world where you're told that you can have what you want, you deserve what you want, I think gratitude for what you already have is far more important. So we're going to talk about gratitude. If you like this content or the idea of where it's going sounds good, please consider liking, subscribing, joining me for the journey for what's to come. It'll really help build my channel as well. And yeah, stay tuned as we build up towards firstly building ourselves and our communities, and then better understanding the world around us. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.